Hey, hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel named Learning to Learn. So today we are going to discuss one more important topic like teaching aptitude part 2. So part 1 we have completed with the first slide of teaching aptitude. If you did not watch that session, please watch that session. I'll give you the link in the description box below. In the last class we were able to discuss all these things which is there in the screen, like what are the characteristics of teaching, what are the objectives of teaching. We did basic requirements of teaching as well as concepts of teaching. Now moving forward, today we'll be trying to understand these two topics that would be the objective of this entire video, different levels of teaching and principles of teaching, and if time permits I could also explain you various modes of teaching, but it totally depends upon the number of minutes it's going to take. So I just wanted to make a short video, not a very large video. So short video are very, you can say, crisp and easy to explain, easy to grasp and easy to understand. So let's start this lecture, but before that, one quick update. You can follow me on various platforms if you're not following me for updates. So this is my channel. I hope you know about my channel. If you are not on my channel, you can subscribe to that to get the latest updates, as well as you can follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as on Unacademy. I'm a verified educator on Unacademy, teaching for NTA UGC NET category paper 2 commerce. And I'm coming up with a lot of series on paper 1 and paper 2 on Unacademy with the live classes. So in live classes you can interact with me. So this is one of the best classes I think so far. In 18 days, only in 18 hours I could say, that is morning 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. is the session, the timing of the session, and only within 18 hours you're going to complete entire teaching aptitude, research aptitude, higher education, people environment, ICT and communication. So all these theoretical topics will be done, that too with the help of charts. So like just before the examination you have to go through the chart and you'll be able to revise the entire unit. So for a single unit I have charts like 10 pages only, so it becomes very easy for you to take a recap or take a glimpse of the entire topic which you have completed so far. Now as well as there are one more sessions which are going on, so you can join that. This is basically revision through PYQs. So paper 1 is going to be taken by Talveer sir and paper 2 would be handled by me and Madhusudan sir. So make sure you join this classes also if you are on Unacademy Plus, and if you are not, you can join Unacademy Plus or even watch the special classes that is free of cost. You don't even have to pay a single rupee for special classes. I take almost 30 to 40 hours of special classes every month on Unacademy. So does almost all educators. So you can get enormous number of benefits from the special classes. Don't miss out. Now let's start with today's topic. And let me give you a basic glimpse of yesterday's topic we have done. Yesterday we were doing characteristics, objectives, basic requirements and concepts. Now today we'll start with the levels of teaching. We have basically 3 levels of teaching: memory level, understanding level and reflective level. Now please make sure that all these notes would be available. As soon as I upload the video, I'll upload the notes as well. You can download it through the Telegram channel. The link of the Telegram channel is given in the description box below. This video is entirely in English. You can watch the same video in Hindi as well if you are interested. And apart from this, if you have any questions, you can comment in the comment section below. Okay, now let's start. This is the overall entire page, a single page, and just going to zoom it out so that you'll be able to see the points which I have mentioned in a clear manner. Okay, just give me 1 second and I'll shift from this side to that side so that you guys can able to see the video or the notes very properly. Okay, so this is the second page. Okay, the first is memory level, the second is understanding level, the third is reflective level. Now what are these? Let us try to understand each and everything. And many questions are asked, many previous year questions are asked from this particular topic, right? So the first is memory level teaching. Now what do we understand by memory level teaching? See, this goes in a sequence: memory level, understanding level, reflective level. Now Memory level teaching is the basic level. Basic level means this is the first level of teaching. Only after completing memory level, you'll be able to go towards the understanding level. And only after completing memory and understanding level, you will be moving forward to reflective level. I hope that is clear. Now, suppose there is a small child like 3 years or 4 years or 1.5 years, like just assume there is a child who's going for his school for the first time, like in a play school or his nursery, he's going for the first time. The teacher will try to make him learn, make him mug up, make him remember certain concepts. Like in the initial stages of a child, when he goes to the school for the first time, okay, in the first year, he is only given information, he's only given knowledge, he's only given facts like what is A to Z, what is A se Gya tak in Hindi, what are various numbers, right? How to count numbers, and the spellings like cat, bat, mat, all these things, and all the spellings of 1 to 100. All these things are basically made remember to students. So students start mugging that up and trying to remember all these concepts one by one, back to back. So here, if you understand the scenario, you'll be able to understand there is a larger proportion of things to be done by the teacher here. So teacher actually plays a primary role, because teacher is going to decide what content the student is studying, what kind of syllabus or what kind of books the student is reading, what kind of things the student should understand, and all these things are 100% in the control of the teacher itself, right? But when you go to the higher studies, like when you are in the 5th standard, secondary education, okay, now the student will have a bit of his own knowledge, a bit of his own freedom to choose the content material at least, right? Like if you remember in your 10th standard, you might have used various guides for Hindi, English, essay writings, etc. Sorry. So, don't you think that was your decision, not your educators or teachers' decision? Yes, that was only your decision. So, in memory level, the teacher plays primary role. In understanding level, the teacher does the supervisory role, or she does has, or the teacher does has a major role. But in understanding level, the student will also have decision making powers, okay? But as soon as we go to the reflective level, what happens is the student plays the primary role. Suppose you're doing PhD. Now you have to decide the topic, you have to decide which university you want to join, you have to decide you need to clear JRF or NET. This is all upon you, right? And if you even choose a guide, okay, ultimately the guide is not going to spoon feed you everything. He's just going to give you a rough idea, okay, an abstract idea, and you need to come up with all the things which is required by the guide. So the roles have changed, right? So this is according to that. The memory level is the basic level of learning. After completion of memory level, we can jump towards understanding level, and after completing understanding level, we can go towards reflective level. I hope that is clear. Now let us try to understand what is given in the theory, so that we can connect the dots with the examples I've given you. So memory level teaching, the Herbert sir, please remember these authors' name, because questions might be asked from these, okay? So memory level was given by Herbert sir. Herbert sir was one of the main prominents, one of the main authors for this level. Understanding level was given by Morrison sir, and reflective level was given by Hunt sir. Now memory level is the initial stages of teaching. In the initial years of the student, memory level is done, and it includes memorizing alphabets, numbers, characters, etc. Correct? After completing the memory level, we'll go towards understanding level, where it is done only after memory level. Yes, the third point I'm reading includes understanding a particular subject and grammar use. Here you try to use logic and sentence formation. So in understanding level, a child tries to understand the concept and starts making logic out of what he had learned, okay? The last is reflective level. Reflective level is the highest level of learning here, highest level of teaching, I'm sorry. And Hunt was the main prominent. It is done only after completing the memory level as well as understanding level. Now This is also known as problem-centered teaching. You can add one more point if you like. In memory level teaching, the primary role is of a teacher, and student has a secondary role. In understanding level, the teacher still has a monitoring and supervising role, whereas the student will now start making logic. In the third, reflective, you can add a point saying student has a primary role and teacher has a secondary role. So this was all about levels of teaching, and I hope it was very clear. All these things you need to learn are written on the page, and you can refer other books also with this teaching so that your learning can be maximized. Okay, so you can use various books like KVS Madan sir's Pearson's publication book. That is one of the best books on paper 1, as well as commerce. If you don't find good material for commerce, I highly recommend you KVS Madan sir's commerce book. I might have somewhere here. I'll show you at the end of the screen. You can get it. Okay, so make sure you buy that book. That is one of the best books. I might have on my screen. Let me see. Yes, this is the commerce book given by KVS Madan sir, and this is one of the very, very, very nice books. So if you want to purchase, it is available on Amazon, Flipkart, and even at your local shops it might be available. Okay, now let's move on to the next topic, shall we? Yes, after doing the different levels of teaching, let us shift our focus to principles of teaching, shall we? I'm really sorry I repeated shall we twice. Okay, now let's go to principles of teaching. Now, principles are fundamental truths, especially if we talk about the rigid subjects like science. Science works on cause and effect relationship. It has rules and regulations, and the scientific principles are basically the rules, okay, which states the truth, which gives us the logic why things work the way they work. Okay, but if we talk about principles of communication or principles of teaching, these are more a bit of flexible. Okay, so principles are guiding principles here. They provide us with the pointers which help us to make teaching more effective. Now, if you don't follow these principles, it's not like you have broken a rule or something. No, but if you follow the principles, your communication, your teaching, and the learning of the student would be more effective as compared to when you don't follow these principles. That is the only thing you need to understand. These are not rigid like scientific principles. Okay, I hope that is clear. So what are principles of teaching? It is a fundamental truth, or once again, prepositions that serves the fundamentals for system of belief. Okay, now let's go on to the general principles and specific principles, or we can say psychological principles. Now, general principles is applicable to each and every type of teacher, no matter what you're teaching. Okay, so general principle includes motivation. A teacher need to provide motivation to whom? Students, of course, right? You need to motivate the students from time to time so that they get encouraged. Okay, the second is activity. Activity here means giving homework to the students, giving activity to the students, so that when the student is doing such activity, he is gaining that knowledge, he is getting a good practice out of it, especially in mathematics subject. The next is interest. Yes, the teacher should create a curiosity in the student. The teacher should create an interest in the student, that how this topic is going to be covered, how am I going to read this, what are the contents in this topic, how much is there left to read. So this brings curiosity into the student, which is very, very much required, and if the student is interested, he might be able to learn in a better manner. Okay, the next is linking with life. Yes, try to incorporate various concepts with various situations of life. That helps a student to get the exact glimpse that why am I studying this, where in my life I'm going to use this. So if you give real life examples or link the topics with the real life incidents, it becomes very easy for the students to understand and to make a logic out of it. The next is definite aim. Yes, whatever you're teaching, there should be a definite aim, that you want these concepts, or you want to make these concepts understandable by students. The next is recognition of individual differences. Very important. Many times what happens is a teacher might have a different point of view, a student might have a different point of view, but having different point of view does not make you an enemy. Try to understand that you have your own opinion, you have your own thoughts, the student has its own opinion or his own thoughts. At the same time, you have to respect the student thoughts. So there can be differences in individuals, but it doesn't make that the teaching is less effective or the learning is less effective. You should accept the fact that other people might have their own opinions. Yes. The next is selection of what? Selection of time, selection of material, selection of syllabus, everything that is decided by the teacher itself. Planning of the entire course, planning of the notes to be given to the students, planning of the classes, that how classes are going to take place. All these things are to be planned in advance, so to reduce any kind of confusions in future. Division, yes, division of the entire syllabus, division of the entire content in such a manner so it is a sequence, you're making logic, the student is understanding. For example, if the student does not know what is a plus b the whole square, right, he's not going to do the algebra or the next mathematics things which you're going to make him do. So try to understand first, give him the basic information which is actually required for the next step. So sequencing of these activities or sequencing of this topic is really necessary. The next is revision. Yes, if you have made a topic clear to the student, revision is really important, because without revision people and students tend to forget these topics. Okay. The next is democratic dealing. Yes, sometimes you have to be diplomatic, you can't be very rigid yes or no kind of a teacher. Sometimes you need to know when to diplomize or when to exactly give a diplomatic answer if you cannot satisfy the student with a you can say rigid answer. Sometimes that happens. Okay. Now the next one would be creation and recreation. So what you're going to create and recreate? Content, of course. The content can be created and recreated numerous times to adjust according to the needs of the student. For example, this particular chart, if you are able to see here, right, this same content is available on standard books, like it is available in KV Smadhan sir's book, it is available in Harpreet ma'am book, Navdeep ma'am book, and by various other platforms online. Now tell me, why did I recreate this? Why did I write this again? So that this helps the student to get a holistic approach of teaching. Right? So you need to create the content, you need to recreate the content. All these things goes on for a long time. Okay. Now let's go to specific or psychological objectives. Just give me 1 second. Okay, now try to understand this one important thing, that these psychological principles or these specific principles will be applicable to certain situations only, not to all situations, but general principles will be applicable to every situation possible. Okay, and if you notice carefully now, all these psychological principles are actually derived from general principles only. For example, motivation and interest, that is the first one, that was there in the general principles, right? The second is recreation, correct? The third is, just once again, repetition and exercise. Yes, you need to repeat the concepts, you need to give various questions for exercise. And the next is, just give me 1 second, the screen is behind the camera, so I'm just getting okay, sympathy and cooperation. Yes, you need to sympathize with the student if the student does not understand. You cannot be very rigid all the time. You need to understand that the student might be a slow learner, or the student might not be able to communicate properly. There can be a number of problems. So you need to accept the fact that student might be a slow learner, or there might be another problem, and you need to sympathize with the student. The next point is reinforcement. Reinforcement can be of two types: positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. Positive reinforcement means encouraging the students by giving them rewards, giving them awards, giving them any kind of credit, etc. Like giving them stars in their books, okay, saying that he's a very good boy or she's a very good girl and they scored very nicely. This helps them to motivate what they have done or to recreate what they have done so far. Okay, so if a student has been in top of the class, next time also he'll try to be in the top of the class because of such positive reinforcement. Whereas if the student is doing something wrong, you can use negative reinforcement techniques like punishment, scolding, something like that, so the student understand that this kind of behavior is not correct, I should not repeat that kind of behavior, right? The next is remedial teaching. Now what is remedial teaching? Sometimes what happens is the student might have understood the topic in a wrong manner. The student might have understood the concept in a total different sense. So you need to make him understand that what you have learned learned is wrong, you need to learn the same thing again with a fresh approach. So that is remedial teaching, correction of the teaching which has been already done in the past. Imparting training to the senses, this is the next point. You need to train the student in such a way that he understands that he can learn from various sources. He can learn by listening to a podcast, he can learn by watching a YouTube video, he can learn by reading. So all his senses, his eyes, his ears, his nose, his mouth is used in such a manner that he could learn more and more properly. So training should be provided, like making him sitting for long hours, making him to watch various YouTube videos, educational videos, making him to listen to various podcasts, making him to study a topic and then giving tests. All these things are basically practiced with the student, so that a student gets the training of how to use his time, his senses effectively, so that he can learn properly. The last point for today is encouraging creativity and self-expression. Yes, you should encourage students with the creativity. If they are trying to approach with a new example, if they are trying to understand the same concept with different approach, you should promote that. That will help the student and even motivate him to do more of such activities, right? So this was all about today's lecture. I hope you have understood the entire page, the second page or the second chart. The notes would be available on Telegram. And please, if you really like this, just comment this so that I get to know I'm going in the right direction or not. Okay, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, and if you have any doubts, please do let me know. Take good care of yourself, study hard, and all the best for the examinations. Bye everyone.